Okay, so here we are live with another Masters of the Universe Origins unboxing. Excuse me. Man, last month we did Black History Month, talking about the Black history of action figures, and we had a good time doing that. But I did not know that my next month was going to wind up being a theme month because it's basically become Masters of the Universe March, even though I didn't really intend it to be. But here we're on the 20th. I'm still opening He-Man stuff because we've still got so much of it to open. We're about to get technically 3 of them out of the way today because I do have 2 of this guy, so I'll probably open the second one after the show. We got the Snake Men Infiltrator, continuing with our mini Snake Men theme with our Snake Men Master Universe theme. And then since I have the Eternian Palace Guard, he's essentially the same figure. I thought should probably just open them at the same time. And we've got a couple of other figures over here to do some comparisons with and talk a little bit about Man at Arms, since these are both basically like remakes of Man at Arms, even though they're not the same character. They are very much the same figure for the most part. Hang on just a second. I think I left something on the other side of the room that I'm going to need. I could have sworn I had it around here somewhere, but I'm not seeing it right now. Eh, looking around all over the place, and I'm not turning it up. Did I maybe put something on top of it accidentally? Maybe. I had my original Man at Arms, and I figured that would be a good figure to have in this discussion. But now I seem to have misplaced it. Eh. Oh well, the show must go on, as they say. Make sure I didn't accidentally put him in that bag or anything like that. Don't have him sitting to the side or anything. Oh, there he is. I found him. Okay, I did have him over here. He was just sitting on my little box of Dremel accoutrements that I had over here. All right, so this is the original Man at Arms, and I don't have him complete. And I have his leg armor on the wrong side, which is how I tend to display the original Man at Arms. I like that balance of him having the shin armor on one arm and the arm armor on the other arm. I said the word arm a lot. Anyway, I had him because I wanted to have a look at his head because we're gonna have a look at the Origins version of this head in just a minute. Uh, so the Eternian Palace Guard. This is what the back looks like. A couple of our guards rushing into battle with. You know who that is? You know who that is there in the purple robe? That's Skeletor. And like you might be thinking, why Skeletor wearing a purple robe? And I'm like, well, he was in disguise. This is from the mini comic of Dragon's Gift, in which he transforms Man at Arms into a crystal statue with a magic amulet. Which in the animated version, it's a statue of King Randor, like a bust of him. And then we got the mini comics versions of Randor and Marlena over here, who were drawn to be much more elderly looking, more so with Randor, but a little bit with Marlena. They both have silver hair. And then you have the original Alfredo Alcala design of the Eternian Palace Guard, who looked a lot more medieval. This is actually based on the Filmation design, where they again they based him off of Man at Arms. So yeah, and I remember a lot of kids around when I was growing up really wanted to have a figure of the Eternian Palace Guard, but you know, I guess the closest you could get is you had to army build Man at Arms. And this guy also is Man at Arms because you can see he comes with an extra head and breastplate to transform him. Oh, and Man at Arms mace. So this is basically a fancy Man at Arms figure with extra stuff that makes him a Palace Guard. And it says, as the first line of defense, the Eternian Palace Guards protect King Randor and Queen Marlena from outside threats. And then we got directions over here: replace armor and weapons and swap head for Man at Arms. And then we've got some cross-all artwork here on the back. Got He-Man, the Lords of Power version of Beastman, Skeletor, Green Goddess, or Eternian goddess, as she's called in Origins. Got Webstore, Stinkor, and the Wind Raider. Sorry, I got off on a tangent there with the ores. All right, so let's go ahead and there's a little more art we can see on the sides. There's a Mossman's arm sprouting up from the ground. We got some of these skeleton warriors, which they did and eventually made as some kind of internet exclusive that I wasn't able to get. And the palace guards and man-at-arms are fighting them on the front of the package. That's what the bottom looks like. Nothing really too spectacular there. But let's go ahead and open it up. And it's got a little piece of tape over here on the side, so I'm going to cut that. And then we can open it up at the side. And just like an 80s package like this, there's not a whole lot of interesting stuff on the insert. It's just a plain blue cardboard insert. But that's what we usually saw on the 80s figures. We didn't really get a whole lot of printed decor on the inserts like that. So the Eternian Palace Guard does come with a couple of bespoke weapons for himself. It's not just man-at-arms weapons. And one of them is the Gray Skull Shield, molded in silver. And one of them is the Gray Skull Halberd, again, molded in silver. Now, old school fans of Masters of the Universe will remember this shade of silver weapons, as this is the one that most of the Gray Skull weapons were molded in and included in the weapons pack. That's pack with this PAK. They came with a bunch of silver Gray Skull weapons. The halberd was not one of them, and I just dropped Man-at-Arms' head on the floor because it was not in there very well. I should have taken that out first. Pox upon me for doing that. No, Duncan's head is somewhere on the floor, and I don't know where it is. And it's an important thing to talk about in this episode, so now I have to find it. So, blast it. Where did it go? It probably slipped under the couch. Where's the worst possible place it could go right now? It probably slipped under the couch. Well, there's that I was looking for, and something else that I was looking for. They're probably going to find a whole bunch of stuff that I was looking for that's not Man-at-Arms' head while I'm looking for Man-at-Arms' head in the middle of a video. There's a Cobra Trooper and one of Batman's hands and a whole bunch of stuff that gets knocked over into the floor. Oh, jeez. There's an old chocolate bar and this little craft tray that I've been looking for that a lot of my crafty stuff is in. There is Green Arrow's head from a 12-inch figure that I was working on. Sorry, folks. Hopefully I should be able to find it. There's a G.I. Joe backpack and there's a sniper rifle, and I think I got my hands on it, but nope, that's Mossman's head. Found Mossman's extra head. There's another Skeletor head. Yeah. There's a Superman action figure and a Joker action figure, and there's Nemesis Enforcer. Literally finding everything down here that I could possibly find that's not that Man-at-Arms head. I'm going to need some light. God damn it. Okay. I can't use my phone that I'm using to shoot this with, so I have to get my extra phone. That's one of those masks of power heads that fell down there a while back. Where are you? God damn. That's the package for Batman and Ace the Bat Hound that somehow fell under there. Ah, jeez. Okay. So that is incredibly frustrating that that happened. Because I had a whole thing I was going to talk about with that, and I can't find where that head went. Ah, man. All right, so points off immediately for them making that head so loosely in the package that it fell out. And points off for me because I knew that was the case. I'd seen that it was loose in the package. I should have taken that out first thing, but I didn't, and that's on me. So sorry, folks, we're not going to be able to talk about that Man at Arms head in this episode. So that's just the way that cookie crumbles. And now, while I was digging around for all that stuff, I don't know what I did with that figure. So let's go ahead and get that over here. All right. So the other accessories he comes with is the Man at Arms breastplate and the Man at Arms mace. So we could turn him into Man at Arms if the head hadn't fallen out of the package and disappeared into parts unknown. Let's go ahead and get the figure out. He's got rubber tabs, but right now I'm pissed off enough. I'm just gonna rip through the rubber tab. There we go. All right. So try to soldier on as best I can. So this guy is different from the original Man at Arms figure in that he comes with a if you'd have seen it, it was a clean shaven mustache head. It didn't have the mustache, a clean shaven Man at Arms head. So it looked a lot like this one, but it's not. Yeah, I'm about to. Oh, geez. Normally I complain about the rubber tabs holding stuff in, and that one actually probably could have used a rubber tab to hold it in because there just was not enough space on there. Like, there's just like there's too much space is what I'm trying to say. It was just rattling around loose in the package, and I should have known. I should have taken that thing out first, but I didn't. So, oh well, whatever. Hopefully, I'll find it at some point in the future, and we'll talk about it a little bit. So he doesn't have an extra hand. He's got one of these open hands, and thankfully, because of the way the shield is designed, it should just slip over his open hand. You could also put it into a gripping hand like that. You could get it to fit if you want to do that. But I think it's made so that you can also just kind of slip it over the open hand like so. So there we go with that. And then he's got the halberd. And that is basically our Eternian Palace Guard when he's all geared up as the Eternian Palace Guard, except for I knocked the halberd out of his hand. But yeah, like I was saying, the weapons pack would have come with a bunch of the Grayskull weapons molded into this silver color plastic. It's very similar to that shade of plastic, so that's pretty cool. But man, if you think I was upset then, you haven't seen me upset. Like, I'm irritated enough, but trust me, I've been worse. I've been a whole lot worse. So if we peel down the faceplate, which is not removable, there you can see he actually does have that Man at Arms face underneath, and you can see that it is very similar to the original one, but I think it's squished down a little bit more somehow. It looks a little smaller to me, but that's just me. So, and then we can compare that with the original Man at Arms, the original Origins Man at Arms. If I could get the head off. I wound up pulling off the midsection, but there we go. All right. And yeah, so I think that this is going to be the same Man-at-Arms head that's actually on all of these. You can see it's a very similar head to the original Origins one they put out, except for now it's Sans mustache. So yeah, so there's that. Let's go ahead and put my original Man-at-Arms back together. And the other difference is that this guy actually has armor on both sides, of both his arms and both his legs. So he's symmetrical. So if you wanted a true Filmation style Man-at-Arms, you could put this armor onto him, and the mustache head from the first edition. And I'm always talking to myself. I don't know what you're talking about. Lone Dragon says people watching this are going to think you're talking to yourself. Well, watching this later, they'll see the chat. The chat pops up at the side. Both of them, yeah. Like, I'll be lucky if I get 2 people watch. I'm always happy to see anybody watching this show. Sometimes I get into the double digits. It's crazy. So yeah, he's pretty cool. He was definitely worth picking up. But I've got another figure that's almost the same exact figure, so we're going to talk about him a little bit, and that is the Snakeman Infiltrator. So let's go ahead and get him opened up, and I'll talk about the articulation once we get to this guy, since it's all the same articulation. This is the same exact figure, just painted slightly different. So let's go ahead and get this out. Have I read this comic book yet? The Fading Fortress? I think I have. Yep, this is the same one that came with Snakeface, I think. So with Otto. So this action figure is supposed to be poor old Otto who gets turned into a Snake Man, or maybe he always was a Snake Man and was disguised as a human. That would make more sense because he's called a Snake Man Infiltrator. He's not really infiltrating anything if he was a normal guy previously. So let's go ahead and cut the rubber tabs on this. Okay, so we got one around each wrist and one around each ankle, and they're put in like the most annoying places where they can get them. There we go. All right, so he should just come right out now. There we go. And he comes with 2 accessories, which one is this halberd again. And let's compare the 2 halberds and see if there's any difference between those at all. I'm pretty sure it's the same sculpt, and it's exactly the same color. So like neither one of them's brighter, shinier, or anything like that. And he comes with the Snake Man staff, and this is molded in silver. Lone Dragon says sometimes the chat comes up when you watch later. I'm pretty sure it'll come up when people watch later. That'll be fine. And if not, they're probably used to me just talking to people. It's fine. It happens enough. So here he is out of the package, and we can see that it is a different color than the regular Eternian Palace Guard, which is brighter in color. So if we compare this one to the standard Man-at-Arms, you see that those are identical. That's that same kind of brighter green, that same sort of cheddar cheese, yellow, orange color, and he's got a little bit of metallic paint on the eagle on his chest. And even the blue is it's like more of a baby blue, and this one's like a little bit more of a grayish blue. But the main difference with the paint is the face, where you see that this guy is green with red eyes. This guy is just kind of a very light pinkish Caucasian color with little black dots for eyes and little black eyebrows. Snake Man doesn't have any eyebrows, and he's got like just red eyes with black dots in them. And if we pull the face mask down a little bit, because it is again that rubbery plastic, we see that it is indeed it's the same mold as the Man-at-Arms head that was underneath the regular Eternian Palace Guard, only now it's painted in green. And he's also got a little bit of green around the fringe of the helmet, where on the original Guard and Man-at-Arms it's black for hair, but I guess it's just supposed to be like snake skin now. But yeah, he comes with the he's got 2 gripping hands, so he can hold his halberd and he can hold his snake staff at the same time. And the armor never stays on this guy very well. Always wants to slip off. So like I was saying, you could mix and match the parts to make yourself a very Filmation style Man at Arms. But by this point, they already have an actual Filmation Man at Arms, and he's pretty darn cool. So we can see them next to each other. And where did I put? Where did I put? Yeah, here's the original one. This one, the snake version, is actually colored, I think, much more closely to the original vintage toy. It's got that sort of frozen English pea color to the green of the suit, but the belt is much darker and much more grayish. But yeah, so that's our Eternian Palace Guard who's been mutated into a Snake Man, or a Snake Man who disguised himself as an Eternian Palace Guard. Whichever you want to go with for that. So let's go ahead and set these weapons aside, and then we'll talk about the articulation. So it is a little cheaper to get the Snake version than to get the regular version, because he doesn't come with all those extra Man-at-Arms parts. So if you don't really care about the extra Man-at-Arms parts, I'd say just get the Snake version and repaint the face, and then you got a Palace Guard. So anyway, so the Palace Guard can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt his head kind of quickly side to side, rotate the head all the way around. Of course, the arms rotate all the way around the shoulders, and they move up at the shoulders about that far. The armor itself is soft enough; it doesn't really interfere with the articulation too much as far as that goes. It's got a single joint of articulation at the elbow that extends about that far. It bends in about that far, and it rotates all the way around. He's got a wrist articulation that rotates all the way around, and it's got a horizontal hinge that moves back and forth. So he does twist all the way around the waist. By the way, since this is a Master Universe Origins figure, you can remove the head, remove the arms, and split them apart at the waist. Allegedly, the boots are supposed to come off, but I find that like it's difficult to get them off without a hairdryer. Palace Guard can kick up about that far, kick back about that far. He can do the splits no problem. He's got a single joint of articulation at the knee, which bends about that far, extends about that far, rotates all the way around. He's got a boot cut that rotates all the way around. Foot points down about that far, foot points up about that far, and rotates at the ankle all the way around. So good articulation on this guy, like we're used to on the Masters of the Universe Origins. Like way better than the ones I had when I was a kid, that's for sure. But yeah, so still not as great as like say a Marvel Legends or a McFarlane figure, but that's to be expected at this point. So pretty cool figure, especially like because it's another Snake Man for our Snake Men army. One thing that I would have liked better with this though is if they had done something different with his head, like rather than just have the Man at Arms face, like actually have a proper snake face underneath, and maybe you have the faceplate be removable. So then, like with Jake the Snake Roberts, how he had that face mask that came off, and you had the snake face underneath. I think that would have been the best thing to do. But he's still pretty cool. And like I said, he's close enough to an actual Palace Guard that if you wanted to get some more of those, you could probably just paint his face, or just pretend he's like just from some other Eternian race that happens to be a Palace Guard. They don't have to all be humans. So, but that's what they look like next to each other. And that's pretty much it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure that you like and subscribe, all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about these characters and their figures. So I'll be back tomorrow to do the last Snake Man figure that I have to talk about. And it's actually not going to be an unboxing because I managed to get this one loose. I'd been trying to get one for a good price, and somebody sent me an offer on eBay for a loose one that was about $10 less than I'd been seeing them for. So I finally got King Hiss. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about the next episode. Might be tomorrow. Probably will be tomorrow. King Hiss will probably be the next one. That's going to be the next episode. And like I said, not an unboxing because he's already unboxed. But I figure there's enough of this figure to talk about. I didn't just want to be like, oh, hey, by the way, look what I got on eBay and one of those kind of things. He deserves his own video because there's a lot going on over here, and not all of it's good, and but not all of it's bad. It's like I think this is overall a good figure, so I'm going to look forward to talking about it. But there are some things that I think they could do better, and I think they actually are going to do better because they actually we'll get into talking about that once we do that episode. Anyway, if you enjoyed it, make sure you like and subscribe. All the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the Eternian Palace Guard and the Snake Men Infiltrator. And we will talk to you next time. Bye.